Hooray.
For a point of inspiration, would anyone like to recap what happened last time?
I can, to some
Okay.
extent.
Do it.
So, in Daggerford, there are rumours of werewolves, which leads about roughly half of the people participating, the characters participating in this game, come hunting for werewolves we may never get to. We are resting at the Brothers Grey Tavern, owned by one of the other characters, Redwin. That was it. I was trying to remember which win it was because I've made so many jokes. I'm sorry. And he seems to be keen to make some more additional profit on top of the profit we're already paying him for the drinks. There is also Gertie, the madam of the brothel next door, right? Hovering around, and
Mm-hmm.
we get to gamblings on Redwin's insistence. And while Devon wins like every hand possible, everyone else, including Brannock and the strange Furbolg Shantae's life cleric, right? Did you went
Yep.
life? Yeah,
Indeed.
you didn't go war. Um, yes, we gamble with the Redwin, the human wizard kind of charlatan type. Uh, whereas Reese and Minor seem opposed to the gambling and sit out to some extent. When a mysterious figure, a gypsy of sorts, or I remember the name, but it is gone now. Whatever they use in Strahd for
You
it.
technically don't know it yet, so it's okay that you don't
Sure.
remember it.
Okay, cool. With a letter with a name on, which is all very strange because they barely know each other. With a distress from a local burgomaster uh, of a place in Barovia, just through the Svalich Woods. Something that the locals seem to not know anything about, and neither do the people from farther from town. The burgomaster Koliana Indrovich uh, basically pays for their drinks through his proxy, which is roughly 20 gold. And is Koliana the girl we have to rescue? Is Koliana the burger? No,
No.
Irina Indrovich.
Yeah.
Yes. On the request that they rescue the love of his life, Irina Indrovich, from an afflicted darkness. He has much wealth to whoever can lift the affliction, but it is too foggy this night, and it is suggested by, I believe, the gypsy fellow that we should travel in the morning when things have lifted, perhaps. Regardless of this, Reese and the Raven familiar of Redwin follow him out into the fog and manage to keep up about as far as the edge of town when he crosses a bridge, I think, and disappears, or leaves the gate and disappears into the fog and is swallowed up
Mm-hmm.
as he heads on the west road. And there was much role playing and stuff in between that, and there was also a tower visit to a very sleepy and quite short-tempered wizard mentor, and brooding.
So much brooding. So you guys wake the next day, some of you with companions, others not. Um, but clean and ready for the road ahead. The fog still doesn't seem to have thinned out much, but the fact that there is daylight now, diffusing through the fog, kind of makes it a lot more appealing than the nighttime fog of the night before. Though you hope, perhaps as the sun rises, that the fog will burn itself off a bit more. Is there anything that you guys would like to do before you head out into the great follow the west road?
But what time of the year is it?
Uh, it
I'm just
is
what kind of
it is spring.
okay. I don't need my fancy wool coat. Wool.
It's still kind of on like that edge of winter and spring. Like you haven't quite like hit like mid spring yet.
A
So
little
if you want to take warm clothes, it would not be.
done.
It's that annoying time of the season where one day you'll need it, the next day you won't.
The trick is legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So you guys reconvene in the common area of the Grey Brother Tavern and set out.
Redmond has like fur that goes over his coat. Flavor.
Excellent. And where is Bexley?
He just on his arm,
Okay.
like about from the tree, kind of. So a little dangerous. Just, you know.
Go to bed and over upon the road.
We're all
Yeah.
common room, I believe.
Oh, common room.
We're
Okay.
at the tavern, right? Oh yeah.
Bed.
Redmond would say good morning to everyone. How'd everyone sleep? I trust the accommodations were acceptable. Probably better than whatever dirt patch you stepped on last night. Kind of elbows Brannick in the side.
They were acceptable.
Good to hear.
Oh, I do like a nice full bed every now and again.
Well, you're always welcome here, friend.
And what breakfast do you offer?
The usual fare. Bacon, beans, eggs, good cornbread, muffins. What do you fancy?
All of it.
I think I might just partake of a muffin there. Eh?
Oh, absolutely.
Hunting is hungry work.
Reese will sort of wave his hand in Brannick's general direction while he's yawning to say that he wants the same as Brannick.
Sure. He acknowledges.
It is
Two.
brought up quickly for you by one of the serving girls that wasn't working the night before. This one's a bit younger and therefore probably doesn't multitask in Gertie's brothel. But
I could feel the air quotes around multitask.
But yeah, so the Grey brothers themselves, Redwind's uncles, are nowhere to be seen as they usually work the night and sleep the day. And breakfast is made up for you. It is delicious and hearty. The muffin is a little stale because they don't bake it here. So it is unfortunately like from the day before.
Muffin's a muffin.
Yeah.
We call those travelling muffins.
Basically just hardtack.
Yeah,
Sure.
the cornbread itself, bread itself is again a harder fare than the like the muffin because this is a tavern, not a bakery. So, but it is the kind that is dense and stodgy and is meant to travel well.
It's dwarven cornbread that it's made with rocks and can double as a weapon.
Yes, yes, it is a 1d2 bludgeoning weapon.
It has the thrown property.
Yes, I was just about to say with a thrown range of 10 feet. So yeah.
Load up on a bag.
Okay, I will say, you still have some gold left over, so you can have a bag of, I'll say, 20 cornbreads. There, Brannick.
Sure.
It's like a year's worth.
Yeah.
That is a lot of
You just
cornbread.
grind at them with your teeth instead of eat them.
I would suggest, like, if you make eggs or bacon in the morning, letting it soak in, like, the liquidy bits, then it's a little bit more palatable.
If you throw them hard enough, they get another liquidy bits. The soft bits of people.
Before we head out, I think Redwin would take a note, like a letter that he's written out of his pocket, and give it to the girl and say, Elsie, when my father or uncle come down, he would give this to them. Let them know, not sure when I'll be back. We're not too long.
Yes, sir. I will.
All right. That's a good girl. Thank you.
And she tucks it away in her apron and leaves
I
you
hope
all to.
everybody can leave Elsie with a nice tip. There we go. She does work ever so hard.
Well,
Tell you what.
She looks embarrassed and is kind of like is about to mention that, like, it's still being paid for what the money that was left, like, from the night before, but decides not to contradict her technical boss.
Yeah, Branagh will go, tell you what, this is yours. And he'll, offer 5 silver on his hand, and then if she accepts, he'll just close her hand around it.
Yeah, like, her eyes will go wide, and she'll, like, thank you, sir.
And Branagh will just, lean in for a second and go, yours, not his. And, nod towards Redwin.
Yes, sir. And she tucks it away into the same apron, giving you a sly wink.
Clearly, your stoic countenance conceals a deep wellspring of sentimentality, my friend Bran.
Yeah, Bren's a big softie.
You say that Brandon's sort of standing up and just hefting his gear, and he just goes, you don't know the half of it.
Well, I've to learn. Fascinating people, all of you, I'm sure.
And I think for the other two who know him better, you see him walk a little bit stiffly, a little bit more straight-backed towards the door, as he's probably going to go out and get some air.
Reese doesn't tip because he's not a weird American.
I mean, this girl is not making, London waitress wages, so.
I mean, neither is the girl who works in a Spoons in Glasgow, but she doesn't get a tip.
To be fair, a London waitress isn't making a London waitress wage.
Yeah. Fair point.
Alright, well, I think that's our cue to leave. And Devin will follow Bran out the door.
Let's go save this girl then, eh? Man heads out the door.
Look to Minar and say, they seem to know where they're going. And go.
Oh shit, you're talking to me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was reading something. So I didn't actually hear what you said.
They seem to know where they're going.
No. At least someone's confident.
Someone is clearly not a morning person.
Well, the thing is during the night, I've been doing a little sacrificing and get myself 2 magic items, which I'm currently trying to read up so I know what I'm doing with them.
Okay. Excellent. You'll let me know what those are, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a Goggles of Night and Wand of Secrets.
Okay, cool. Alright, so you guys head out and get on the road. Let's see.
Branagh, when he's walking for now at least, just sort of naturally rests both of his hands on the 2 handles on his belt, effectively around his waist.
And so you guys head down the foggy thoroughfares towards the city gates, out towards the west road, so that you can head towards the Svalich Road. And like the night before, like the fog doesn't seem to be like lifting any, and it's still kind of thick and hard to see through. And but eventually, you guys make your way down the road and continue on for a couple of hours, and you get to where like you can see there's like some of those spring showers that are probably the results or the culprit for this fog. There are black pools of water standing like dark mirrors in and around the muddy roadway, and giant trees begin to loom on both sides of the road, their branches clawing at the mist, kind of breaking it up, and through like the light, kind of bringing it that little foggy, diffused like streams of light that kind of like make it even more difficult to see, as they forgot to equip their fog lights. But you continue traveling along this road, and the woods get thicker and thicker. And is there anything that you guys would like to do while you're traveling, or say, or anything like that? You'll be on this road for a bit.
Do we hear any sounds of like any other travelers on the road or anything like that coming towards us?
No, it is eerily quiet.
Redwin, without saying much to anybody, is going to cast Speak with Animals. And see if he can't find a bird or a squirrel or a shrew, something about that is interested in having a chat.
Okay. There's not any that are like focusing in and around like the road itself. Every once in a while, you kind of hear like a raven calling out in the distance, and you can just hear like mine, mine, mine as it's like flying through the trees. And other than that, there's like none that are like immediately in your vicinity for you to like call down and be like, "Hey, friend, come here."
Okay. Well, I might not cast it then if I don't see any animals.
Okay. Well, then you just heard. So yeah, you guys travel on for several hours, and eventually the fog spills out of the forest and to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hanging on the stonework, and dew clings with a cold tenacity to the rusted bars. There are two headless statues of armed guardians flanking either side of the gate, their heads now lying on the weeds at their feet, and they greet you with silence.
I mean, I'm glad they greet us with silence. Anything else would be a bit scary.
Probably, yeah.
Wait, so this is the entrance to the Lord's house that we're going to?
No, these
Okay.
are the gates to Barovia.
Oh, okay.
Does it say Barovia over it somewhere?
A little screen and says Barovia on it, and then it slides back up again.
Twinned with Daggerford.
There's no other,
Right.
like, it's just across the path. Like, there's no other way or diversion or anything, so we got...
How tall is
They,
the wall?
you go.
It's like high stone buttresses. The woods are impenetrable on either side, and they are like in the image here. They are very, 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 very tall. A couple hundred feet or so.
Could I?
You go.
I was just going to see if I could send Bexley over the wall to just kind of get a look around.
Let's see. Yeah, sure. You can send him up and over. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Can I just...
The-
No.
How about Dan go? Dan's been trying to say something for a bit.
Nah.
I'll just ask, are the gates open? I missed that, if they were.
Right now, no.
Right now, no. Okay, checks, you go.
You did right. I'm just trying. The werewolf hunters. You came in from the other side of Daggerford, not anywhere near this path. Just so.
I mean, really, presumably, we'd probably come from the north. I don't think there's much west of Daggerford. On a map. There's lots east, but we'd probably come down from the north.
Right.
Yeah,
So
probably a
this
bit
terrain
closer
is
to
unfamiliar.
to Baldur's Gate than anything else. So that would be to like the north.
But no, I don't think we would have used this road to come in.
Reese will walk kind of towards the gate. He's like sort of looking up at the sky as though looking for something, but continues on and is going to try and just kind of scope out the situation here. Then if you want a check of some kind.
As you approach, the gates will swing open. The screeching as the hinges move, all like.
He'll like stop, kind of dead in his tracks, and like look back at the others. Like,
That's really creepy.
Does the armor look familiar? Like, is it like an old army guard or something like that?
Why don't you make a history check?
I love you, Liam. That was going to be one of my questions, but
I wish you'd asked it because I don't have. Well, at least it makes sense. That's a 6.
I mean, they look real pretty. Oh, they look real pretty up there, you know. But you know, you can't really see like the emblems or nothing because like that's really high up, you know.
Thank you for your very subtle pointers on the Canadian accent.
that was more Minnesotan, but like you know.
It worked.
Yeah. Your inner voice is very Fargo there, Liam.
Dude, Minnesota is the stateside Canada, so.
So Brannock, with his hand still resting on the handles, just kind of takes a few steps up and like meets Reese's gaze. Are they enchanted?
Well, if they're not, then I don't want to meet whoever opened these gates.
I'm gonna do a Furbolg thing. If I hear him say it's enchanted, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic at first level, which I can do once per short rest.
Very nice, very nice. They
There's a
are.
ritual. Want to burn your ability?
Say what?
Oh, if you didn't want to burn your ability, I could cast it as a ritual.
No, it's all good. I get whatever short rest. Okay, all right.
They are not magical.
No, they're not enchanted there, eh?
No, you do kind of see like a little glimmering flicker as Bexley crests the wall.
I wouldn't recognize Bexley as his familiar, would I?
Now you might.
Oh, there's that raven there up there. That's a magical thing up there.
Especially, he's a friend of mine.
Oh, that's lovely there.
He's a wee bit magical.
You might say you've got friends in high places there.
I see what you did there. That's nice.
Right, so these gates open themselves and not by magic. Reese, you might be finding out who opened them soon enough.
I think you might be right. And Reese will take a few more tentative steps forward. Kind of
wait just a moment. I'll be able to report you what's on the other side of that gate.
And you reach out to Bexley and get no response.
Or not. All right, I'm gonna make him bamf into his pocket dimension and then bamf him back out.
You try to summon him back, and he does not return.
Okay.
So, do I have any inkling about why that might be?
Make me an Arcana check.
You got it. Ooh, 18 on the die for a 24.
Ooh. That can. I mean, you haven't had it happen to you before because Bexley has always been with you before, but there are things that can disrupt those kinds of magics if he's not in a plane that you are connected to.
So,
or it's possible that somebody killed him and you have to resummon him.
Well, I'll say Don't go through that door just yet. Give me 10 minutes. And I'll resummon Bexley.
That will take an hour.
So a ritual version of a spell is 10 minutes.
Yes, but
If you read
Find Familiar
Find
takes
Familiar.
an hour to cast.
Oh,
Yeah,
to-
we've had.
to
we've
bring
had
your guy
this thing.
back again, and it also takes 10 gold.
It's the casting time plus 10 minutes to do a ritual,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
You're right, you're right.
It'd be an hour and 10 minutes for you to do it as a ritual.
All right, well, I will leave him where he is then. So either he's dead, which is not likely, I don't think, or on the other side of that door, and bear with me now, is a different reality than the one we are currently in.
You expect me to think that that's the easier of the two choices to believe, not that the bird's dead?
I mean, yes, I do.
Listen,
I
I've
mean-
seen some crazy shit before, but
Don't you like hunt monsters from other dimensions and stuff like that?
I
Yeah.
mean, there's plenty of monsters here.
Sure, I'm just saying.
Werewolves and the undead and things like that.
They don't gotta come from no shadowy place to be evil.
I just don't think we probably would have faced beholders
no,
yet
yeah,
at level
yeah.
2, so more local monster hunters.
Yeah.
No, I wanted
know.
to. I love that line because there's plenty of. It's like, you know, this one's for man, this one's for monsters. They're
Hunt
both
local
for
monsters
monsters.
for local people.
So I mean, I had my senses attuned to his. So at some point, I assume he just kind of disappeared, right?
Yeah, it was like if you were like looking through his eyes, it would have been he would have crested the wall and then it would have cut off from you.
Right. So pretty much immediately, as soon as he went over the wall, I lost connection with him. If he had been attacked by an eagle or something, I would have felt it or sensed it somehow.
I mean,
But just
unless like the arrow came from below or came
sure,
from
but
behind.
if you're occupying the senses, there would be some like sound.
Sure.
As opposed to just disappearing. I could be wrong, and obviously I have no experience with this sort of thing, but I've heard about this sort of thing, and I don't know, it's a likely scenario to me.
I mean, there's quite a lot of ruins around the place, but not necessarily as big as this one. What's your suggestion? There's
I
town
don't-
back that way.
I'm just trying to provide you, the decision makers, with the best possible information.
Can I
Sure.
stick my head through the gate?
His
It
head
doesn't come back.
I was gonna bounce out the fucking headless boys up there.
Yeah, like you stick your head through the gate and it's just, looks like a continuation of the path that you're already on the other side. More woods, more fog. Do me a quick perception check.
All right.
May I also do one, but only to see if I can find the heads of these dudes?
They're
They're on the
very
floor.
visibly, very
They're huge.
visibly,
Oh, sorry.
very, very, very visible. Big giant ones. They're about you're tall because you're a furbolg. They're still taller than you, even laying on their
Okay.
side.
I can't see them because they're hidden beneath the other heads of Dan and James.
I see. Yes.
So I thought they were
Oh.
just built with no heads, and I'm like, that's really interesting. Let me see if I
Here.
can find the head.
Oh no, that didn't work. Let's click on the gates, maybe.
The
Nope.
dirtiest of 20s, by the way.
Dirtiest of 20s. You can hear the sound of a raven calling from the other side of the gate, but you can't quite see it.
Think it's fine. He'll call back and then step through.
Can I get a passing look at the armor? Just.
Yeah.
As part of the order and such.
Go for it.
I'm just moving through the gate, and he's just going to look up and have a look. Because I've got Knight of the Order, I think I have history. I don't. I thought I did. What did I have instead? I think I've got Arcana for hunting magical monsters. That's terrible. That's like a 9 because I've got -2.
Well, that armor looks really good, but
Yeah.
you can't really see any crests or emblems or anything like that.
Right.
One's
I like,
taller than the
I like
other.
how you decided on a different inner voice.
Yeah, and because
I
he
appreciate
wasn't
that.
because he wasn't talking in character right before, I couldn't immediately copy the way I wanted, the way I did before. But I tried.
I appreciate the effort. He'll turn to Meadowmane if he mentioned anything about them being pretty. And I don't see any sigils on them or anything. Not an order I recognise.
Must be ancient then.
Looks like good work, though.
Sorry, what?
Looks like, though.
Looks mighty pretty there.
Seen better days. And I think with that, he'll put his hand on the squeaky gate and just go after Reese because he's not going to leave him to go too far forward.
And the rest of you?
Oh wait, yeah, hold on there, and then Meadowman's gonna draw his mace and follow on. Is it a mace? I think it's a mace.
I don't know.
It's a
man.
mace.
You made the character.
Meadowmane.
I know Meadowmane in character pulling it out, not knowing what it's going
Is it a
to
mace?
be.
No,
and
it's
he's
a
like,
mace.
It's a mace!
Either his mace or quarterstaff. It's one of those.
Look over to Minar. Say, do you want to go on then?
I didn't want to get up this morning. Yeah, here I am.
So what? Into the heart of darkness?
As much as it pains me to do so, I'd be a terrible acquaintance to you if I turned back now.
All right then. After you.
Speaking of terrible acquaintances, and I'll walk through.
Strolling after.
All right. Do. Sorry, having a bit of a yes. As you pass through the gates, you all file through, and as the last part, as Minar steps through, the gates behind you shut with a
Right.
which is probably exactly what Redwin expected. And as everyone kind of turns to see the gates shut behind them, another little raven cry comes out, and you hear "Rah!" and a clattering of wings instead of a fluttering as a skeletal creature comes down and lands on Redwin's shoulder. Of a skeletal figure of a raven is now perched there on his shoulder, and it kind of nuzzles at your hair affectionately.
Hello, Baxley. It's a new look for you.
He kind of tries to do a thing where it looks like he's trying to ruffle his feathers, but he no longer has feathers, so it just kind of the clavicle and shoulder blades or whatever kind of shiver together as he squawks at you again.
I'm going to look over to Devin and say, obviously this is entirely normal.
Absolutely. I would say we're both right, but he's clearly not dead.
Oh,
Anyone looking at Reese at the sight of that bird would see he's very pale.
you don't like my bird race?
No. And he'll just turn and sort of make to head down the path, but not necessarily just leaving.
I'll look over to Bexley and say, it's all right, love. You're still adorable to me.
Bran narrows his eyes at you.
Sorry?
Bran narrows his eyes at you. You say that's normal, do you?
Oh, no, this is entirely not normal. I was being sarcastic. You're not really familiar with sarcasm, are you?
I'm
He is
familiar with the undead.
I mean, strictly speaking, Bexley wasn't alive before this, so don't worry.
It looks mighty dead from where I'm standing.
You understand what a familiar is, yeah? It's a spiritual being. He's not really a beast in the normal sense. So I don't imagine that he can be undead. Although if you have some sort of way of determining that, I would be curious myself to understand if that is in fact what he is now.
If your spiritual beast thinks that that's the form it should take, is that not a curious sign of this place?
I mean,
Never
not to
happened
tell you, I
before.
thought it was like another dimension. Yeah, it's fucking hella curious.
Can I basically hand on one handle and the other hand comes up and his hand just sort of twists in the air and he uses divine sense. There's maybe like the little spark of like arcane sigil or divine sigils or something. And he's just going to use one of his divine senses to sense celestial fiend undead.
It is
Not behind total cover.
It is most certainly undead, but the noxious odor that normally accompanies such things don't fill your senses. So it is undead, but it is not evil, you think.
You see him do that and he gets a very puzzled expression. It's undead, but and he kind of like turns to Devon, like clean. It's not tainted.
You hear that, buddy? You're not tainted.
And Bexley kind of goes in like this weird like little bird noise, and it does like that little like bone shiver again. And so like instead of like puffy feathers, you just hear like the as like the bones click together.
I must admit, you are an aerodynamic mystery to me right now, though. How do you fly?
I mean, you said it wasn't alive, so it's not where the mysteries lay. He lowers his hand and like looks to Devon again, and just like a look that is, I do not trust whatever is going on here, but I'm not going to smite it right now.
I tried to warn you. Please don't blame this on my bird.
And
he shrugs it off and turns around.
Yeah, for mechanical purposes, your familiar is now undead instead of celestial or fey, but he is going immune to features that will turn undead. Just so you know.
That is handy. Thank you.
Okay.
Darn it.
Yeah, you can't.
My bird, Liam.
My immediate reaction was almost to have main panic and you turn on that immediately. I decided against it.
It's probably very kind of him.
Devin will kind of just turn to Brannick and be like, well, I guess that just means we need to be on our guard.
Always
Yep.
Totally normal.
Right. So I assume you all continue on the path.
Tentatively.
Excellent. So let's see. You continue down into the Spalich woods. They're towering trees, and the tops are lost in like this heavy gray mist and block out most of the light, except for like this weird like death gray kind of hue. The tree trunks are naturally close to one another, and the woods have the silence of a forgotten grave, and yet they exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream as they kind of like twist and bend together in ways that trees normally don't tend to. This place is very disconcerting, and it kind of makes like your skin crawl, and the path itself has like little wagon trail like pathway where it looks like a heavy wagon has been like dragged through the mud. If I could get a quick perception check from everyone, or survival, I'll let it be your choice.
Ooh, my choice.
22.
It's the same. 16.
22.
I got 18.
19. Survival.
15.
I got
Perception.
perception.
For
All
those
perception would be the same.
For those of you who got over like an 18, the messenger from the night before had ridden off on a horse, but you do not see any horse tracks. Besides,
Oh,
like you see like the two horse tracks that were pulling like this wagon, but you don't see like a singular set that someone would have been using to ride down this path, if that makes sense.
well, that's mighty suspicious there, eh?
Why? You'd think that a man heading back down this road in a rush would leave a track, but none to be found.
I wonder if his horse became bones as well.
I wonder.
Do the tracks look particularly... Well, I guess the tracks would look the same whether they were bony or not, would they?
Yes, you would have no way of determining whether or not the creatures that pulled the wagon had flesh.
Okay, cool.
Suppose we could presume that if they were natural beasts, they would retain their form. But beasts like Bexley, well, not beasts at all, spiritual beings, might be corrupted by this place.
Well, that makes sense, Derry. He clearly puts his hand to like the rose emblem on his chest plate.
Clearly, this place is horrible. Let's keep going.
I mean, the gate's closed, so we're not going back.
And so you guys continue on traveling without incident for a few hours. Eventually, though, as you keep going, Reese, you catch a scent that, while not overly familiar to you, is one that you do recognize. You smell, you catch the scent of death on the air coming from like the woods.
He'll like crouch down and sort of hold up a hand behind him, like in a sort of stop, be quiet type of motion, and I guess sniff the air.
The foul scent kind of comes from a little bit of underbrush.
Try and determine. Comes from where? Sorry.
Comes from some underbrush. You think a couple of feet off the road.
Okay.
So if you go in that direction.
Yeah, he'll kind of like slink his way over, like on his hands and legs, hands and legs, on his hands and knees.
I mean, technically,
doing the weird walk.
Technically, you're not wrong. It is still your
Yeah,
legs,
that's
but
yeah. He's like on his hands and feet, kind of moving like in a sort of bestial way, like trying to keep low and hide under the.
Pretty weird gait on this fellow.
You get about 15 feet from the road. Does anyone else go with him, or is everyone staying in place?
Yeah.
I've definitely got his back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
My boy.
Follow the weird dog man.
the
Are all the beefy types leaving us alone?
Yeah.
if you stay there,
We're definitely moving stealthily though, and kind of like trying to like do like a scout kind of thing.
sure.
And he's like, wait for me! Shouting.
Metaman's armor is going clang, 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 clang.
All right. The foul scent you find in the underbrush about 15 feet from the road. As you kind of crest around the brush, you see a human corpse that's kind of like half buried in the underbrush. It's a young man dressed like a commoner. His muddy clothes are all torn and raked with claw marks, and it looks like crows have been at the body. So like the face is like nearly unrecognizable. And the body itself has been surrounded by paw prints. He looks to have been dead for several days, and he holds a crumpled envelope in one hand.
Shit.
A crumpled note.
Yes, envelope.
Are wolves, you think?
Think. Wow. And he'll just kind of shrug. Do I have any way to know what killed him?
Sure, make me a quick survival check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Ah, right. Yeah, it is most definitely some wolves, because you can kind of see there are various like bite marks on like the back of his legs from where they like hamstrung him, and then like the throat and gut have been like torn open. But doesn't look like they fed on him, so it's like these wolves came and attacked him and then immediately left. Like the
So
damage, the only feeding that has happened at this body are the crows.
Yeah, so he'll sort of duck down close, like or push the body onto its side and sort of like point out the backs of the legs and kind of injuries and say, it was wolves, but well, something scared them off.
You think something scared them off, or do you think maybe they just were not in it for the meat, just for the kill?
Yeah.
Maybe it was
That's
wares
not
and
how
they were
wolves
killing for
are.
fun.
Which is not normally how forests are either. Look around you.
I mean, it's an old wood. Maybe it was wares and they were killing for fun.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign. I'm just gonna I was, 5 or 10 back or something, and I'm saying that as I walk forward, and I'm just gonna lean down and snatch the letter out of his hand.
Sure. The seal on the letter is a big cursive B.
Similar to the one we had previous?
No, the one you had previous was like this weird kind of raven crow thing.
Right.
With see, do I still have it? I do not. Sorry.
Okay. Addressed to the guy or blank?
Sorry?
Addressed to the guy or blank?
No, the envelope itself is blank, but it's been sealed with the letter B. Do you open it?
I'll break it. Yes.
Okay. You open it up, and the letter starts off eerily similar to the first, but the handwriting is definitely different. But it says, "Hail to thee of might and valor, I, the Burgermeister of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the life and blood of my people. How my dear Irina languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. I say to you, give us up for dead, and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power, that the devil may be contained within the walls of the weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Kolyan Ivanovich, Burgermeister."
I read all of that and just go, just mostly partly to myself, but I think those close can hear. Just go, I knew it was his daughter, and I'll just palm the letter off, either to Reese or Devon or whoever is standing.
Reese is halfway through a discourse on usually wares are too tall to bite people's shins.
Okay.
I realize no one's listening.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll grab the letter then, I guess. Well,
As they're going through this letter, Meadowmane heads over to the body, puts the eyes down so they're closed, and pulls out a shovel that I checked, and he does actually have it in his inventory.
Oh, darling, he doesn't have eyes anymore. The crows have been at him. But I do appreciate the sentiment.
No.
It's not violet. Or does it not violet either?
So Redwin will
That
put
would
a
be
couple over the eyes.
Okay. That would be the first thing to go if crows have been at him. It would be the eyes and the soft bitsy bits of his cheeks.
Okay. In which case, he goes to there and he's like, "Oh," and he still pulls the shovel out and starts burying him as he says, "He passed through the veil into the arms of the Great Mother."
Brannock will wait for you to finish your prayer out of respect, and then say, "I would burn him." But he'll say that and then turn and basically walk away. He's not going to stop you from doing what you're doing, but just give the suggestion that.
It does seem to be an incredibly insightful.
Can I burn things with sacred flame, or does it have to be a real flame?
It's radiant, so no.
It has to be a real flame. Okay.
I got it. I'll just hold my finger up, and if you want, do you want to say some words or something?
Oh, I already have.
Oh, all right.
As you set fire to the corpse, there's a lonely howl that echoes through the woods, all like, "Arrgh."
What a mournful, lonely howl. Sound close?
About 10 seconds later, you hear another one joining the call of its brother, another "Arrgh," and it sounds much, much closer.
Oh, I don't like this now, eh?
That's 2. And they're on their way, it sounds like.
A third call
Okay.
joins the joins the echoing howls.
As it's increasing, just in case the letter does not get round everybody in time, Brannock is going to say, "The Burgermeister has spoken again of the ill fate of his Irene, a vampire bite. Though he says it is too strong for a world." Seems we have not waited long enough.
So the same Burgermeister who invited us here is now telling us we shouldn't have come?
He told him, and he kind of looks towards the half-charred corpse.
So that's why you wanted me to burn him, then, eh?
A
again-
fourth howl echoes through the woods.
Perhaps we
Ready,
should to repel some beasties, yeah?
ready yourself. And I'll pull out of the wood, ideally onto the path with slightly more clear sight lines.
I will actually step to the front of the group, and this time I will cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, like, while you were doing that, Brannock is relatively close behind you and just goes, "Remember, you can't outrun a were."
I don't plan on it.
Right, where is everyone else at this point?
Devin will try to position herself someplace to get a little cover,
Mm-hmm.
but with the sight lines.
So off the path.
Yeah, a little off the
Okay.
path.
Everyone else?
Reese is kind of skulking just off the path, like behind a tree, getting ready to see what it is. But he would be kind of near the front, probably next to Redwin, like ready to jump out in front of everyone else, if possible.
Okay.
Merriman's probably behind those two, maybe behind even Brannock. He's not much of a
Brannock
there.
is in the middle of the path. Is that where you want to be next to Brannock?
Yeah. He feels safer with Brannock about.
Okay.
Sure.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
And Redwin is with them as well, correct? Or are you in the woods?
Redwin?
Yes.
Redwin would be sort of on the front line, ready to step back behind Bran if things don't go
Okay.
his way.
Minar, where are you?
The back line, ready to step further back.
Are you
The
in
intelligent one?
Are you on the path or are you in the woods?
Probably I wouldn't have went that far off the path, to be honest. So probably nearer the path.
Near the path? Okay. But not quite. Alright, so, after, like, you guys kind of ready yourselves, you hear shapes darting through the woods, kind of like with a heavy panting, all like, and then barks and excited yips, as 5 dire wolves pull into the clearing. I need everyone to roll me initiative.
Could I try to speak?
Oh dear.
Could I try to speak while they're like coming close?
With the way these woods are, they're just now coming into view. So if you roll better than them, you'll have a chance to talk to them.
Okay, the idea was to do it before they come into view.
They would not have been able to because of how the woods are. They're so dense, you wouldn't have been able to see them until they were in view. Like, this is them appearing.
Well, that seems obvious.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, if I can
Could
hear,
you shout out?
I just shout out.
Okay. What do you shout?
Stop, friends. You'll find no easy meals here. These others are dangerous. and you'll bleed before you eat.
And with speak with animals, can they talk back to you? Is it where they get voices,
Yeah.
or is it just you understand them?
Yeah, you gain the ability to
You can
comprehend.
communicate.
Okay.
So they're limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, they can give you information, blah, blah, blah. So they can communicate pretty fluently.
Okay. Dire wolves have an intelligence of 3. So at this point, what you get from them is back, keep them back. And as they kind of encircle your group. So initiatives, please.
21.
I got 15 and I popped it in the chat.
This is a dire situation.
Uh,
Someone had to say it.
Hey, there it is. Coming alive. 21.
21. I think Bran has the higher dex.
That wasn't me
Redwin
speaking. That was
yeah.
Reese.
Redwin. Oh,
That was Dylan playing Redwin who said second. Yeah.
someone said 21.
I have a 21
Me, yeah.
as well.
Okay, Reese. Okay,
Reese and Redwin both have 21.
sorry.
Double R.
And then who's got
Bran
the
got
higher?
16.
Thank you.
Oh.
Devin,
15.
Bran, Devin. Who's got the higher dex? Minar or Meadowmane?
Meadowmane got 13.
Who's got the higher dex? Meadowmane or Minar?
I've got 3 for Dex.
Do.
Slow dex.
Yes. I have 12 dex plus 1.
Okay, Minar,
Yeah.
Meadow. All right.
Can I just say that I've taken the whips out before
Oh,
they get hit?
Yes, and I
time.
saw the mage armor comment, so that's a thing.
Okay.
Devin got a 15. Okay, Reese, you're up first.
Okay. I'm going to wild shape into an elk. And are they like around us, or are they sort of running down towards us?
Right now they would be closest to you and Devin
Okay.
and Minar, as they're kind of coming out of the woods behind where the corpse was.
Yeah. Then in that case, well, that's my action anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of run towards one of them, like huge creature. All of a sudden, like I imagine he's sort of the shifting comes with, I guess, for flavor purposes, a very like strong sort of sea breeze for the slightest moment before standing in front of you as a very broody looking elk. Yeah.
All right.
Will try to interpose himself between as many of the wolves.
And I'll say, Redwin, that you get like a bit of.
And his body.
There is a bit of like confused sounding barks as Reese shifts, but like still like the wolves seem determined. Redwin, it is your go.
So they give no impression. So they say back is what I heard them say.
You got to keep them back.
So they're trying to keep us from pressing forward.
Or they're trying to.
You gonna roll an insight check or something?
Yeah.
25.
25. You notice that the 5 dire wolves seem to be focused on Devin, Reese, and Minar.
Devin, Reese, and Minar. What's the commonality there?
They're near the corpse.
Okay, so I'll say, readying a firebolt. They want to keep us away from the corpse. Stand aside. They might not attack, and then I'll fire a firebolt. Just sort of like I'm gonna make an attack roll at one of the wolves, but I'm not going for like I want to like just singe them and scare them. You know?
Yeah. Are you aiming to hurt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanically, you could call it subdual damage.
You can't do some. You can't do some. As Abrashmina learned, you can't do non-lethal damage with ranged attacks.
I
So,
can do anything to damage.
so yeah, go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. Oof, not great. That is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Well, all right. 9 points of damage.
Very good.
And then I will step back behind the big beefy face, Scarface guy.
Okay, Bran, it is your go. You're in. They're about. The corpse is about 15 feet from the road, and they're kind of advancing, and that's kind of where Reese is, and so they're about 15 feet from you right now. Hello?
I can
Sorry,
hear
was
you.
that to me?
I said no,
Oh,
Bran.
sorry,
Bran,
sorry,
Bran,
sorry.
Bran, Bran.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
what I thought.
Did I say Reese?
Oh, it's my
I'm
go.
sorry.
Right, I thought you said Reese.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think you did, but I was like, I was having kind of
Right,
fun.
I
I was
didn't
getting, I
know.
was getting my broody brunettes mixed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a problem. So as they're like whirling in, and I just hear the barks, I don't know how they get back. I'm just gonna say to Redwin, I guess they didn't take too kindly to that. I know one reply, and basically he'll pull like both. But in preparation with them coming in, he'll pull both of the handles of his belt, and just the whips will like uncoil out, and there's just like crack crack as the whips are extended. How far away is the nearest wolf to me, saying that Reese has charged headlong into them as an elk? Are they kind of surrounding us, or
They're kind of
from outside?
they're kind of coming around and kind of trying to encircle around the body. And
Right.
so I think like the closest one would be kind of one of the ones that have come up to the side to try and flank Reese eventually. So I'll say it's about 20 feet away from you.
Okay, he will attempt to flank the flanker and stop them from encircling us, as wolves do. He will step up to sort of the edge of the road, maybe 10 feet, and then he's 10 feet away.
Is he stepping off the road?
Can I hit something 10 feet from off the edge of the road
You have 10
with my whips?
You have 10
I
foot
have 10
reach.
foot. Yes.
Yeah. Then you can hit one.
Okay, cool. He's going to because he believes that the wood is their home, their advantage, and not ours. So he's going to stay in the clear and then whip through the trees, which is probably more difficult.
Yeah.
But oh well.
We'll say that gives them a little bit of cover, but not like half cover or anything like that. They've got cover because you're trying to
Sure.
hit.
Okay. Well, the offhand misses. 14 with the main hand.
That is what you needed.
Okay.
Are you hitting
The other one was an 8, so
Yeah.
hitting a wolf.
Are you hitting the one that Redwin firebolted, or are you?
I
hitting
presume
it
there's not one. Sorry?
Which one are you hitting? Are you? Well, you would have been hitting the closest one. That probably wouldn't have been the one that Redwin firebolted. So this will be a new one.
No, that's okay. Whichever one is on the edge.
Yeah.
I'll just go for the damage for this turn. Seven.
All right.
7 damage as it lashes out and strikes the beast.
Yeah, so like the whip cracks through the air, and the dire wolf kind of yelps, and it like turns and looks at you. It's like the mud on its muzzle, the mud and blood on its muzzle, kind of giving it like this weird beardy appearance, and it kind of like barks at you, and you kind of see its eyes flick towards your feet and sees that you're not on the road and turns back, or that you're still on the road and turns back to Reese and Devon.
Huh. At the beginning of that, he'll be like, "Yeah, got your attention now, haven't I, man killer?" And then like he turns away from him, and he's like, maybe he's figuring that out for in between turns.
Devon, it is your go. You've got like two that are kind of there are two that are kind of three that are kind of flanking towards Reese, and like the two on the far ends, which would be like the ones that Bran just attacked, are looking like they're eyeing you up.
Alright, so I'm gonna shoot an arrow at one of the ones that are kind of giving me the stink eye.
Is this the one that just got whipped or a new one?
Not really gonna matter. Because that's an 11.
Okay, yeah, that misses, unfortunately.
Alright. Yeah. That's my go. I think I'm gonna stay put.
You gonna stay put?
Yep.
Okay. Minar. There's like you're still kind of off the road now with Bran, and so you can kind of tell that some of the wolves are eyeing you, but it seems like they're more interested in Reese and Devon at this point.
Is there any kind of I don't know, 1 to 5 pound stumps of tree, rock, something?
Roll me a D100.
Oh, we're playing this game, are we?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best way. I have found it is a really good mechanic for such lucky things to happen for you.
Yeah, it's if anybody rolls bar me. Well, okay, I just rolled 100.
So many
This
rocks.
forest has no rocks in. Not one.
It could be all the rocks or none of the rocks.
In fact,
You're
you've
talking about
retroactively turned the gate we entered through all to wood.
So, what forest? You're under the sea.
Alright, you don't necessarily see any rocks or like heavy branches that
Okay.
are under like 5 pounds.
Fortunately, in our
There
fights,
is-
are always.
There is, I guess, technically now there is a burning skull of like the guy, if you wanted to fling a flaming skull at them, I guess.
Oh fuck yes, I do.
That's so unnecessary.
Never ask.
Exactly.
You rolled the worst roll possible, and you're giving them a flaming skull.
I did. I wanted it. Really, I just
Oh,
wanted
okay.
it.
So let's attempt a flaming skull to the face of the nearest dire woof. Woof.
Woof.
If
Oh god.
Aren't you the direst little woofy?
closest to you.
Closest to yes. Fuck it. Yes.
Okay, that'll be the one that Devon missed. We'll call this wolf has got a cross scar over one eye, so this one's a scarred eye. Scarred eye wolf.
Scary woof.
He's very scary. He's a very scary wolf.
Okay. Scary Wolf has to make a DC 13 dex save, which it probably will, but.
Oh no, that's only an 11.
Ooh.
No, 10 even.
Ooh, even better.
Okay. Let's see here then. Oh, that's not a D8. Well, it does some damage, but not a lot. 7 damage.
That is more damage than it had previously. Alright, it's the scarred wolf takes 7 damage. Meadowmane.
Is
It
the
is-
scarred wolf also the one nearest the forest?
It is one of the ones that are like trying to flank Devon, so it is closest to the road. Bloodbeard is the other one closest to the road. So you got Bloodbeard and Scar close to the road, and then there's the Singed Wolf that is circling Reese, and then 2 other ones that need some descriptors. So
I'm gonna go for the scarred boy.
okay.
I'll say something cool like, you'll desecrate that body no longer, eh? And then cast Sacred Flame. So you
Sure.
must make a dexterity save. That's not as cool as a Canadian accent, is it?
Oh, man.
No.
I mean, it was a cool line, but
The A
The
kind of
accent.
ruined it. The A
Yeah.
ruined it. You would have been fine
It'll
without the
seem way
A.
better. It'll seem way cooler in Dan's notes.
That is 19, I'm afraid.
Yep.
Okay, so it is now the wolves go. The 3 that were closest to Reese are going to pile on, and with pack tactics are going to have advantage on all of these.
Fucking bring it.
The first one is going to be a 15 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, that is... Oof. Ooh. 14 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I'm no longer
And
no longer an elk.
you need to succeed a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Yay, I'm real good at that. 4.
As you kind of like these three wolves like come in and pounce on you, and you are thrown underneath one of them. And the next one is going to be 24 to hit, much less damage that time, double ones. So that's 5 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
And then does a 12 hit.
That is my armor class.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is 6 points of piercing damage, as like these wolves are tearing into you.
You got a backup character there?
Pardon?
You got a backup character there?
Yeah.
Right, and
But I got this.
the other two dire wolves are gonna try and close in on Devon and do the same to her.
Yep, because I made a backline character for a reason.
That is a 24 to hit.
You know, that just barely hits.
I keep... That is 14 points of piercing damage.
Jesus Christ.
And need a strength saving throw, please.
That's good for you.
Yeah, it's great. Oh god, that's 12.
You are also knocked prone, unfortunately. But thankfully,
Ow.
the other wolf kind of chomps down on like the area where you were before. So technically, the super aggressive wolf, we're going to call that Wolf 4, just saved you from the whiff wolf, who is Wolf 5.
The whiff,
The whiffer.
The whiff woof.
The whiff wolf.
woof, and the roid woof.
Reese, it is your go now.
Okay, Reese is gonna, just covered in blood, is gonna like kind of, I imagine he sort of falls, like his staff next to him, like reaches out and just puts a hand on it, and there is this like sound like the crashing of waves against a cliff, and a huge kind of concussive explosion around him, and he's going to cast Thunder Wave.
All right. That is 3 wolves that have to make what kind of save?
Yeah.
What kind of save?
Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
Ooh. That is
3 nat 1.
3 failures, 1 nat 1.
Boom, boom, boom. So they each take shitty 9 thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away from me.
All right. Are you
And then
gonna?
I'll drag myself to my feet and limp towards Meadowmane.
Yeah, you'll get 15 feet, which will get you off the road. Do you get off the road?
If that's where Meadowmane is, yeah.
Yeah. You're not quite to Meadowmane because you're still on the road, but you've
Sure.
like kind of crossed that little invisible line there.
So,
Redwin, it's your go. Like, despite like these wolves getting thrown back, they just kind of lay there, snarling.
Okay, so they seem committed to keeping us away from the corpse, right? All their behavior so far is indicative of that?
So far, they only seem interested in those who have stepped off the path.
Okay. So I'll say it one more time. Get away from the damn corpse! And then I'll just fire at one of the ones that...
Are you
is
going
attacking.
attacking who?
One of the ones that's attacking... I said Redmond, but that's me. Reese.
Reese is free. Devon's under threat by 2 wolves.
One of those. Is there one that has more damage on it from?
Those two have taken no damage, unfortunately. No, wait, no. Scar took some damage, and then the other one, yes. Oh man, Scar is the one that attacked Devin. Oh well, yeah. Scar and Whiff are there.
Okay, if Scar's taken some damage, I'll attack Scar.
Yeah, Scar's taking some damage.
18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. I need to switch that damage around.
It's nice you roll. You got me rolling real good today, see?
Eee, nice.
Yeah. But that's 8 points of damage.
Very nice. Right.
And I'm gonna away from the fight a little bit.
Okay.
Away from the, I guess, further back down the road the way we came a little bit.
Bran, you're still kind of on like the edge of the road, so the wolves haven't quite made any like inroads towards you. There is the scarred wolf is the one that you previously attacked. Is now like dogpiled literally on Devon, and then there's the Whiffy wolf who hasn't taken any damage. And those are the two that are closest to you. You can move either up into the woods after them, or you can skirt them along the edge of the road. Up to you.
Hello?
Hello.
Sorry, I dropped for a second.
Oh.
Two wolves on top of Devon, and Devon's still on the ground, right?
Yes. Scar and Whiff are on Devon. You can either step up into the woods after them, or you can skirt the road and manage to hit them.
Sure. Devon was, backline fighter, not as far forward as Risu charged. Is she about 10 feet from the road?
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
I said you could either go up into the woods after them, or you can skirt the road and still be able to reach them.
If he skirts the road, so the whip feet thing that I have allows me to pull objects which are within reach that aren't worn, but also I can grapple or restrain with a whip. Am I able to save her? Like if I wrap the whip around her hand and then pull it, can I like spend my action kind of like a grapple, but like pulling her towards me out of the wolf threat range?
I'd allow it. She'll have to make a dex check to grab onto the whip for you
Sure.
to pull. But yeah,
Cool.
I'll allow it.
Is that what you want, Jade? Or
That sounds good. Please, get me away from these monsters.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Do you want to make a dex check? So he will go.
You need to roll to hit her, and then
oh,
she'll
sorry.
yeah.
That is 16 plus 6.
Definitely got it.
So 22. So he's gonna shout while he's like sprinting down the road to like get to the right place or moving down the road. He's gonna say they don't like the road, and then like whip out towards Devon and just.
And with the 24, I imagine it looks really cool as she grabs it. And...
Yeah, it's basically like he does like the whip. It's like you guys practice it. You do the arm up and like you grab it, and so like the whip like wraps around like your forearm, and yeah, Bran, you can make a strength check to pull her out. Or
Sure.
how is that ability? Is it just it happens? I can't remember what we decided.
The feat thing for an object, it just it kind of happens if I hit. Because I can replace a hit with that ability, and I don't do damage when doing it. Or it's either that or the grapple, so I can steal an item or whatever, pull an item or grapple a person.
Devin, you are...
I actually crit the strength check to
nice.
pull back that I rolled anyway. So yeah, like they've practiced, presumably. Like yeah, the arm comes out of the furry mass of teeth and claws, and then he just like with practiced. Moves just like wraps it around his arm and starts walking backwards as he's reeling her in basically off.
Yeah.
Probably not that comfortable over.
With 20 strength, I'll say you can manage to pull her the 10 feet to get her on the road.
Sweet. So like he pulls her right the way up to her and then like clasps her hand and pulls her out from the ground.
Excellent. Devin, it's your go. You were saved from the jaws of death.
All right. So as like, I use the momentum to stand up. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself,
All right.
and heal 10,
Good. Good.
and bonus. No, I'm good. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. That's my go.
Okay.
How
Minar.
bad do the wolves look, by the way?
The singed wolf, the one that has gotten like the most attention from everyone, is he's been singed and he's been thunder waved and he's had all kinds of nasty things happening to him. He's looking kind of rough. You have one that hasn't taken any damage at all. The whiff wolf. You guys have also whiffed on him. And like the other ones have taken like a little bit of damage here and there, but only one of them looks really close to death.
Okay. And I'm guessing both Reese and Tevin looked pretty mauled from that very short encounter with.
I'm
Oh,
not
yes.
not looking fantastic.
Sure. Okay. 'Cause these wolves are like as bigger than a person.
Yes,
dire
these are
wolves.
dire wolves, not regular
Mhm.
wolves.
Is anybody else getting a lot of roboting, or is it just me?
I'm not.
I wasn't for that part. No.
Okay, then I think I might need to refresh my page.
Minar, it's your go.
Suppressing fire.
All right. What is that?
Wait,
Funnily enough, it isn't fire.
Oh.
I think with all that's going on, it's enough time to unlatch the crossbow, stick in a bolt, and I will let loose at one of these dogs of war. I don't know which one the nearest one would be, but that would be.
The nearest one would either be Scar or the Whiff Wolf, who hasn't taken any damage.
I'll go for the one that I've already.
Okay, that'd be Scar.
Scar Wolf. Yeah. If that's closest, because confident in his abilities, he is not. Well, that is a 21 to hit,
That will hit.
and it will be +3, 9 damage, piercing.
Okay. Are you going for the most damaged or the closest one?
Closest one.
Okay.
Like whatever one is closest to me, anyway.
Right.
Because in my mind, that's easiest for Minar to hit.
Yeah. Awesome. So like Scar takes like a bolt to the shoulder, a big meaty shoulder, and he kind of like whines and flinches, the metal sticking out of him. Redwin.
And then I'm
Oh.
I'm gonna back away after that because.
Are you staying? Are you
I'm
staying
not-
on
I'm
the
not gonna
road?
be fucking dog food. I'm going to where everyone else is.
Okay. Everyone else is on the road. Okay. Cool. It is now the wolves go, and Redwin.
Is it or is it mine?
Oh yes, it is yours, Meadowmane. I am terribly sorry.
All right, keep your tabs, don't you worry. I see Reese coming towards me. I sort of work out what he's needing, and also he looks like shit. So, sorry, I'd normally ask permission, but there are times he puts his hand on the back of his neck and puts his forehead to his as he casts Cure Wounds. Saying a little prayer for you.
Say a little prayer.
Little purple.
Yeah.
Right,
heal.
guys.
Ooh, only 5 health, I'm afraid, buddy.
Fuck's sake, Liam.
Did you add your modifier?
Aw.
Sorry?
You added your modifier?
I rolled a 2 plus 3.
Oh.
Thank you, Liam.
There you go.
Just get more in a minute.
Take it of your heels.
Okay. Well, now it is the wolves go, and so Redwin, you hear yes, yes, yes. Back on road, and they kind of just start circling, eyeing you all, like doing like that caged wolf thing where they like circle and like it's like maintaining that piercing eye contact with all of you, and they do nothing but watch.
Whose turn is it?
It is now Reese's go.
Dive back into the fray. I will cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
For 7 + 4, 11.
Right, Redwin, now it is your go.
I'll just say, I'll kind of like hold a bolt of fire in my hands and say, "We do not seek to end your lives. Let us pass in peace. We will leave you yours."
And you get a response of like one of the wolves howl, and it sounds like mission.
Who is your master?
And you get like a barking wolf, and the scarred one kind of looks at you and starts panting, and you hear Strahd, 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 Strahd.
Who is this? I don't know.
That,
Alright, I'm gonna hold
that
my-
would be your turn. I think that's
Yeah.
about 6 seconds.
If I can use my movement, I'm just gonna kind of begin walking the road the way we're going.
The way you're going.
Yeah.
Very good. They like stare at you, and you can kind of hear another one going yes, and as it's growling deep in its chest. And you are technically out of combat for now, as the wolves just kind of circle and watch what direction you guys are going in.
Well, that was fun.
Where the fuck are you going, Redwin? There's
Well,
many.
see-
Question.
They say what?
They said yes.
Yes to what?
He's gone insane.
They said yes when I started walking this way.
So you're listening to wolves now?
Isn't that the way
All
we-
I hear is you barking at them and then barking back.
isn't
So
that
they killed somebody.
Isn't that the way we were going anyway?
You're just gonna wander away, turn your back to a fucking pack of wolves bigger than you are?
Oh, I've got you at my back, don't I?
Yeah, and we kill wolves.
Fight them if you want. Look like you guys are getting pretty beat up. It's not my call.
Right.
There's something fucked up going on here.
You get it?
Why did they stop? I mean, we're on the path. That's clearly where they want us, but does that mean... Do we want to be where they want us?
Means their master wants us to go forward. Now, we may not wish, but we know the way out is closed.
We're going to let ourselves be shepherded towards danger.
That's my point.
Better
I
off.
don't know if I'm okay with that.
Do they ever get within 10 feet, these wolves? Or do they know better?
They know better. As long
Okay,
as you
just-
guys are on the road, they don't seem interested in coming after you. If you kind of edge your way towards them, they kind of get like that, dog spotting prey kind of thing, and they do like the hunched shoulders and look like
Yeah.
they're about to pounce at you. If you are you staying like kind of in the general area where you're at?
I haven't really walked on yet because
Okay.
it's not really in my mind to follow the master of some dark wolves or whatever. He's definitely like basically foot on the line and lashing occasionally at the wolves that like stray too close.
Yeah, and they like respond accordingly, where like they kind of flinch and yelp even though you didn't hit them, and kind of skitter away, tail between their legs, while like some of the other ones just kind of stare you down. But eventually, if it doesn't look like you guys are gonna be like heading up towards the road, the singed wolf is gonna like run off into the woods away from you all. Whereas Bloodbeard and Scar kind of stay there and stare. Eventually, like the other two will scamper off. You can hear
As they
them.
kind of start to depart, I'll like take a step back or so and then like turn back to Reese and go, "This is fucked. This is not how they behave."
Absolutely fucked.
They say their master is called Strahd. Seems to me that Strahd wants us to go forward.
That's the part that's fucked.
Not quite fucked, I agree.
I've heard of some stories about people who command a bunch of werewolves when they're a pack, and I don't think I'd like to do anything that they say. And he kind of like rolls his shoulders a bit.
Redwin, if you want to
You
roll
were
me
saying to-
an intelligence check for me real quick.
That is a natural 1 minus 2, sir.
No, I said Redwin. I said
Okay.
I know I
Okay.
said Redwin. I know I said Redwin
Okay.
that time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay. Just straight intelligence.
Yeah.
18.
18? Okay. These creatures definitely didn't seem like wares to you. Granted, you haven't met a were before, but you kind of gather a werewolf would have more mental
Yeah.
acuity than these creatures had.
Well, I was
I
Those
know,
were
I know,
talking
I know,
and
I
all the
know.
rest of
He's
it.
yeah. I know Bran might think that they're werewolves because they are dire wolves and are fucking huge or whatever. But for Redwin, who has talked to a few creatures before, these just seem like wolves to you.
These are wolves under a dark influence. Not sure what their death would accomplish other than fleeting bit of safety in a very dangerous place.
I mean, it will make it safer for us and safer for him. And he kind of like just beckons out to the burnt corpse. Safer for everyone. But if there's someone darker at the head of this, then I guess we'll just go fuck him up as well.
As you say.
Also, I
I'm
don't
just
think
trying
we
to
have many
provide you
more
all the
options
best
there, Gray.
information available.
And then he kind of like just fastens the whips like around him again. Right.
Is everyone good there? Does anyone need a break?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Good.
Everyone's good? Good. Yeah, we've got maybe a little bit left for today. But as you guys continue on down the road, knowing that the gates of Barovia are closed behind you, you didn't even check to see if they could be opened again, but it's like this air and this atmosphere, it's one of those, like whenever they shut behind you, there was like the sense of finality that you didn't even have to check. You just knew they wouldn't open to your touch. And it's that same kind of dread and finality that kind of permeates every step you take down this path. And eventually you come across a small river that twists along like the either side of the path to the left. It's about 50 feet wide, and there's a stone bridge that spans it at 2 points, and you can see off in the distance in the fog vague shapes of buildings where it looks like there's a village ahead of you, and the more keener senses of you can sense or hear kind of like the rush of waterfalls over to the opposite side.
I'm assuming we can't tell what time of day it is.
No, not with this, but you guys have been traveling for at least like 6 hours or so.
It's going through the gates.
Yeah, since coming through the gates. So it's kind of you're out of like the woods, and it's kind of instead of woods on either side, you can see the village in the distance and like the rushing river and like the sound of waterfalls a little bit further out. So basically, if you continue on like this road, eventually you'll come to the river. Is like the river is kind of, or you'll come to the village, but like the river is kind of skirting this on like the opposite side.
Did it say where in the letter that we originally got? Did it say where the coin was kept?
The
Or she
original,
li-
the original
Yes, the original
letter.
one. Yeah, where she was ill at. Was there a location, or was it just she's ill?
Said that they were a servant of Barovia.
But the what's the fuck?
They didn't
the
say a
elf-
village name.
No, did not say a village name. The second letter, Kolyan Iranovich introduced himself as the Burgermeister of Barovia, and Burgermeisters are 4 villages. So you're in the land of Barovia,
Okay.
and there is a village of Barovia in Barovia.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like,
Like how there's in New York, in New York.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. I was racking my brain to think of one, and I was like, oh, that place that I'm from.
Well,
there's a
maybe
village
they'll
then.
have some answers.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, Harry.
Or at least a place to sleep for the night.
Yeah, you holding up okay?
I'll be fine. It was a little closer than I like.
I can give you a blessing of Shanti if you want. This might make you a little bit better there, eh?
I'm doing all right. We just need to get to the village and rest up for the night.
I'm here to help if you need me there, eh? He says with a smile on his face.
Thank you.
Redwin will go over to Devin and just kind of like point 2 fingers at her and like swipe down, and then all the blood and mud will just come off her clothing, and he'll just like brush her shoulders off a little bit.
Now you look presentable.
There we are. Now presentable to meet the fine folks of this village.
That's right. They're probably all skeletons and things, so, wasted effort, but can't be too careful.
I feel much better. Thank you.
You say that, and Bran's hands go to the handles of his whips again.
You're a very serious character, you know that, Bran?
I mean, 2 of us just nearly died. Or several hours ago, or however long it's taken us to walk here. But I don't think we're really in a place that deserves laxity.
But every place is brightened by levity.
You can keep trying to talk to those wolves. Keep trying. And he's just gonna, like, walk over the bridge and into the village.
It's funny he says that because I'm pretty sure I just did talk to wolves, but all right.
He said you can keep trying to. And you did, but you didn't really convince them of anything. Like, not to eat his friends, for instance.
He didn't eat his friends.
You
They
didn't
tried. They tried real hard.
You didn't do any convincing to stop them. No.
They definitely nearly succeeded.
Anyways, yes, as you guys continue on, the gravel road leads to the village, and with its tall houses and that are dark as tombstones in like this gray fog, and nestled among these solemn dwellings are a handful of closed-up shops. Even the tavern appears to be shut tight at this time, because this is kind of creeping into the evening. As you guys travel down the road, a soft whimpering draws your eyes toward a pair of children standing in the middle of an otherwise lifeless street.
You all right, dears?
And there's a boy and a girl, and the younger one is kind of whimpering and crying, kind of rubbing his eyes and sniffling, and the older one shushes the boy, and the girl turns to you and says, "There's a monster in our house," and she points to a tall brick row house that has seen better days. The windows are dark and has a gated portico on the ground floor, and the rusty gate is slightly ajar. The houses on either side are abandoned, their windows and boards closed up.
Madman heads over to the boy, and he's like, "Oh, are you hurt? Are you hurt, there, little man?"
And he kind of shakes his head no at you, and he says, "There's a monster in our basement," he says.
Oh, you don't need to be worried about no monster there now, eh? We got a couple of monster hunters right here. I'm gonna take care of that for you.
You guys have monsters?" And he kind of like looks up at the rest of you.
Bran kind of like stiffens for a second with the situation going on, and it's probably obvious to most, and then he kind of like shakes himself free of it, and he'll kneel down on one knee and like take one of the kid's hands. Yeah, I had monsters. Stop them preying on families like yours.
There's all kind of terrible house coming from the basement.
Oh, I put an end to those. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Can I insight check the kids?
Sure.
Ooh, 22.
22. They're the little one is frightened, and like the older one is kind of trying to pretend like she's not scared, but they're afraid to go in the house.
Seem honest.
He. Oh, you
I'm
go.
sorry, clarifying, do they seem honest?
Yes.
Okay.
He'll as he took one of their hands, he'll like turn it palm upwards, and he'll go, "Here, I have something for you to protect you." And he'll like rummage around like inside a pocket or something, and pull out like a little toy soldier. Looks like a little knight with a rose like crudely painted on it, shield, and he'll put it into his hand, and it's carved of wood. You hold on to that tight, and when I see you again, there won't be any monster. And he'll stand.
Is it all right if we wait outside? The girl says, pointing to the portico.
That's real good thinking. You protect your brother now.
I will, sir.
You have family, eh?
Our parents are inside.
In the house with the monster.
The girl nods.
Right.
Hearing that, Reese is just gonna like turn and head straight for the whichever place they're pointed to, whichever house they're pointing to.
Meadowman follows.
All right, looks like we got work to do.
Hello?
Yeah.
I just got a ton of roboting, and then Jade going,
Alright.
"We got work to do." So we're moving on.
So we just basically find out that the parents of the kids are still in the house, and then Reese and Meadowmane and Devon have just like turned on hearing that and gone straight for the house.
Sure, I would follow. I would like squeeze the little girl's hand or something when I say you keep your brother safe, and then I'll move out as well.
What a noble bunch.
I'll head inside as well. Death House!
Minor, how are you doing?
Well, someone's got to stay and babysit the kids.
Do you really stay outside?
As much as I would like to, I don't think that's probably appropriate to the adventure.
I mean, you could.
not
There's
to
a voice in your
metagame,
head that says,
but yeah,
I mean, you
"I
could.
don't have to."
it strangely has a different accent to me.
You could stay outside if you wanted to. No one's forcing you to go inside. Until the
No,
mist
no.
starts rolling in.
I'm pretty sure I just heard a dire wolf in the background howling, so
Ow! Ow! It's the
I speed up my steps.
It's the world's spookiest ow.
Ooh.
Ow! All right.
God.
Yeah, the entrance is a wrought iron gate with hinges on one side and a lock on the other. The gate is unlocked and the rusty hinges squeak when the gate is opened. The oil lamps hang from the portico ceiling by chains, flanking a set of oaken doors that will open into a grand foyer. Rose and Thorn, the children, will kind of go into like the little portico area, kind of this enclosed porch, and they'll sit on like a little rocking bench and like sit there and wait for you all as you enter the death house. Bum, bum, bum. And I think that's where we will stop recording today.